right, welcome to the Yulia Tudor Show, where I provide daily motivation, inspiration. Today, some very special education. It is such an honor and a privilege to have you here, Ari Maccabi. You know, you're an expert in this industry. You've already, made close to $1 million in Bitcoin. You've been around this industry for a while. In fact, you got involved in it long before it became a big buzz. Right? So you saw this coming and now you're really riding the wave of it. And I just wanted to provide some education for my audience of what this buzz is really all about. You know, most importantly, how can we profit from it right now in the next coming years? And why do you believe this is something that's going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger? And how we can get involved? So maybe we can start off just a little bit about, your background and your credibility in this industry, and you can talk about maybe what is Bitcoin and how can it be used. Maybe we can start there with our audience here.
Yep. So, guys, basically I got involved in network marketing, man, when I was 19 years old, and I've never really looked back. But, companies like to keep you hostage a little bit where you only promote one thing, and I've always hated that. And 14 years ago, I kind of took the leap into the affiliate space, doing cost per lead offers and cost per acquisition stuff. And I really fell in love with this space. I'm just going to tell you up front, I really fell in love with it. And as companies caught wind of it, they started to actually alter programs. So they kind of look like network marketing companies, but they really weren't network marketing companies, and they didn't hold you hostage. And what I love about this industry is it's very progressive. There's not as many laws per se that really tie you down. There's not as many restrictions that tie you down when it comes to companies and things like that. And more importantly, guys, I'll tell you the other thing I really love about it. It adapts fast, very fast. And my brain kind of works very quickly. So, I'm a little ADHD, a little OCD. So it really keeps me, on the ball, with ever-changing game plan, so I like it. But Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, I actually got involved in 2010. It was about, almost about a year old when I first caught wind of it, started watching it. 2011, I launched my first Bitcoin mine in my house and watched my electricity bill go up and up and up over the weeks, as I started to mine. And, I was a hobbyist. It wasn't really a big career, but something, when they actually started selling Bitcoin and I started watching people make money, I knew there was something big here, but I didn't quite grasp it all the way. And so I've stayed, involved in this space, over time, and I've taken some risk and jumped into some different things, in the crypto space. But I've always been, I'm very reserved, guys. I would definitely say I'm a conservative when it comes to stuff like this, because I'm looking for real things. Like, I would never take a risk on one coin because I know it's not a real cryptocurrency. I would never take a risk on some of these programs that are out there because I just know they don't have long-term viability. And, Bitcoin itself, I believe, does. And, I've always wanted to, basically go both feet in. And this year I told one of my business partners, Joe Frank Abel, that, I was going to focus on cryptocurrency this year. And it was news to his ears. He loved it. It was music for him. And, what's happened over the last 45, 50 days has been insane, with what's transpired.
I believe now it's worth over $1,700, and that was within a very short amount of time.
Well, let's see right now. Actually, right now it's dropped down to 1682. But here's the thing, like 423, 426, it was actually at $1,222 and change.
Yeah.
So you can see how crazy and how fast it actually goes up. Now, a lot of people don't understand, Yulia, why that price increases happen, but Japan recognized Bitcoin as an actual currency, and they mandated, just recently, and they mandated that 260,000 businesses were going to have to accept it by summer as a form of payment. And so what happened in Japan is people started buying Bitcoin, and they actually went, at one point, they were 30% over projections off the amount of Bitcoin they bought. Then they hit 40%, and now they're hovering right around 46 to 49% on the overage, basically, so they have bought far more than projected and expected, and that's allowed Bitcoin numbers to go way up. Now, if you don't know, anytime a company recognizes a currency and does that, you're going to see an increase. Well, here's some beautiful music for your ears. Australia is actually about to do that again. So
Wow.
Australia is going to actually recognize it as a currency. I believe it's July 1st. So we're going to have this round two all over again. You know, we are going to get over $2,000, guys. If it doesn't happen here in the next couple of weeks, I expect it'll happen when Australia actually recognizes it. But we are going to get over $2,000 and bust that bubble. You know, we've already busted the $1,800 bubble. It's been wonderful because, you know, if you were paid when Bitcoin was $1,200, and then all of a sudden it went up to $1,800 and you happened to sell something, guess what happened? You made a lot of money. You know, it's just an amazing opportunity, Yulia. Amazing.
So would you say right now that we are on the cusp of massive profits? Because a lot of people are asking like, hey, you know, is it too late to get involved? I mean, the value already went up so high. You know, is it because of these big time players, these, you know, giant companies, the governments are starting to recognize Bitcoin as a local currency? Is that the reason why the value of it is going up? Because the supply of it, it's quite difficult to get created, right? So my question is, for those that are wondering, is it too late to get involved in something like this?
No, absolutely not. In fact, guys, look, I'm going to tell you like this. When you get out of your house and you go to a busy area and you walk around, and on every street corner you see a Bitcoin ATM machine, then it's too late. Until that time, it's not going to be too late. I'm going to tell you now, Bitcoin is going to hit $2,000. It's going to hit $3,000. It's going to hit $5,000. It's going to hit $10,000, and then it's going to go beyond. The experts have said it could hit upwards of $1 million per coin, guys. And here's the reality. Because of the supply and demand factor, and every 4 years, basically, it's halving, meaning that every time, you know, a Bitcoin mine basically goes out and solves the equation and gets awarded a block of Bitcoin. It used to be 25 Bitcoins. It was 50. Then it halved. It became 25. It just halved again, and it became 12 and a half. Well, when it halves again, it's going to become 6.25. And, you know, here's the reality. That's going to keep going on all the way till 2140 when all 21 million Bitcoins have been mined. So it's going to get harder and harder. The equation's going to get longer and harder. And it's just going to drive up the price because more people are going to want it. There's going to be less supply. The price is going to shoot through the roof. So guess what? You can't afford to miss this. I'm just going to tell you up front. This is, without a doubt, in our lifetime, the greatest investment opportunity on earth. We're never going to see anything better than this.
So from what I'm hearing is that, and this is what I've done some research myself, is that there's only 21 million of Bitcoin that can actually be issued, and it's projected to, you know, basically max out by 2104. And right now, I believe we've created about 17 million Bitcoins, right? Is that why the value is going up? Because there's only a certain amount that can actually be created, kind of like gold. We can't recreate gold, right? If we were to make that comparison.
Yeah, I mean, here 2140, not 2104, but there's been 16 million, like 283,000 basically mined so far. We're on our way to 17 million, guys. And again, it gets harder and harder. So as it gets harder, you know, the supply basically becomes tighter and tighter to get. I mean, look, I just had a guy say, hey, I want to buy $100,000 of Bitcoin. And here's the reality. It was tough. It wasn't like an easy thing because, you know, obviously there's market price and there's a lot of people who don't want to sell. When you want to buy $100,000 in Bitcoin, you're not going to pay market value. You're going to pay slightly over market value. That's just how it works. You're going to bid on it in order to get your entire order filled. The same things are happening right now, you know, in the altcoin currency. And that's why I love, you know, Crypt Trade Capital, which we wanted to come talk about. But guys, if you don't know the space, you really need to, because here's the thing, you know, when Bitcoin goes up, the altcoin price drops. And that's when people are basically buying more Bitcoin and they're turning around and they're buying the altcoins. So they buy it cheap. Then when the altcoin price goes up, guess what they do? They sell that back into Bitcoin, so they actually make a swing both ways. They make profit on both sides, on both exchanges. That is beautiful. That's why this is a wonderful industry, because cryptocurrency being volatile is actually in our favor, not the other way around. A lot of people don't understand that. When there's these great big dips, you're basically buying, you know, altcoins at a very cheap price, and then it drives back up, and Bitcoins drop like it just did over $100 and some. You're buying that back. Guys, literally, you could make thousands of dollars per day if you were an expert in this field. That's why I love Crypt Trade, is why I love the whole system behind it, because these guys understand what the market's all about, and they're doing all the trading and doing everything for us. I mean, imagine you had a couple $100,000 and you wanted to invest it into some type of a fund. You go get an investment banker, they present a plan to you, and chances are they would take some high risk, some medium risk, and some low risk investments for you. That's what they would do. They'd have portfolios. And there's no different really in the cryptocurrency trading world. You have portfolios. You have your higher risk cryptocurrencies that are going to pay you big dividends. You have your medium risk, going to pay you some good dividends, and you have your less risk that are going to just continually pay you. And honestly, I would say Bitcoin is less risk. And even though we just made $600 a coin, that's what less risk looks like.
Right.
That's what it's beautiful.
Wow. And, because I think a lot of people might get overwhelmed. Well, how do I know what to trade on the market? Like a lot of people are just maybe brand new or just opening up their mind to this. In terms of trading Bitcoin, do we have to be an expert, or is there something that we can leverage, right? Because you're talking about knowing because it sounds like the best times to make profit is you have to buy it at a low price and sell it at a high price. But, if you're new and you don't have that education, it sounds like there is something that we can leverage to get the experts to do that on our behalf, correct?
Absolutely. Look, guys, here's the deal. Again, if you had a couple $100,000, you wouldn't just go open up a trading account, start dropping some money in and start trading and buying stocks. You know why? You'd be broke. So what do? You leverage an expert and have them do it for you. And in the cryptocurrency world, it's really no different. You want to leverage an expert, let them do the trading for you, and you just get paid the dividends. And with crypto capital, what I like about it is literally you earn daily, and then they allow you to withdraw it after the 15th and the 30th of every month, or if you're in a VIP package after the 30th every month. Guys, the amount of money that you can earn, I'm just telling you, it's crazy. To think that I got involved in a company and literally in my first 30 days, very, very, very part-time, because I'm building stuff right now. I've been working on sales funnels, videos, and I've been doing some of the video work myself. It's a lot of work. And so now all of a sudden you imagine, here I am part-time. I've made over $21,000 in one cryptocurrency company. And then in another company, I made another $15,000. And then in the third one, I made another $8,000 or $9,000 part-time.
Wow.
Part-time working.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah, it really is, guys. And something?
Like just imagine what that can do for your family and for your future. And I really wanted to kind of provide some basic education for people who are just trying to wrap their mind on, what is Bitcoin and how can it be used? Why is this so important to be used for business? Why is it revolutionizing the way things are done? Because from what I understand is, Bitcoin is something that's not centralized, right? It can be anywhere in the world. And you don't need to have a bank account. As long as you have a phone, you can open this up. So maybe you could just tell people a little bit about the basics of what is Bitcoin and why is it so important for business? How does it revolutionize the way that transactions are done all over the world?
Okay, let me give you guys three really good topics. Okay, first and foremost, what is Bitcoin? Okay, let's imagine the United States has the dollar. Great Britain basically has the pound. The Euro's got the European Union has the euro, and then every other country on the face of the earth, okay, has their own currency, their own name of currency, their own brand, okay? But now all of a sudden you have this thing that's bigger than all of these countries called the internet, and the internet created its own currency, and that's Bitcoin. Okay, it's decentralized, it's not government controlled, it's controlled by the people. And that's what we love about it. Now, it's also highly transparent, meaning that every time you do a transaction, it's recorded on blockchain.info. So you can't say, oh, I just sent Yulia some money and not provide proof of it, because you can provide the blockchain transaction and send her the link and she can look it up and say, oh, yeah, you sent me the money. I just haven't got it yet. So it's a foolproof way of actually keeping people honest. And that's the other thing I really like about it. So although it's transparent, it's anonymous, it's decentralized, it's also transparent in a way that you can track it and you can actually see it. The second side of that, guys, is this. Okay, you look at Greece, okay? A few years ago, we all know what happened in Greece. Greece had the worst economy ever. They collapsed. The banking system reached into everybody's account and they stole all their money away from them. Businesses collapsed, closed, boarded up. People lost houses. They couldn't afford to eat. They couldn't afford to do anything. Now imagine if they didn't trust the man the banking system and they put their money in crypto, could have never been taken. And that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to give power back to the people, guys. We are trying to give power back to the people and put it in your hands so people can't just take your money. Now, the third side of that, I want you to help understand one thing, okay? Anytime you're sending money, like through a banking system, you get charged wire fees. You send it through PayPal. PayPal charges a fee. Payza charges a fee. Western Union charges a fee. MoneyGram charges a fee. I can go on and on and on in this scenario, guys, because look, any service that charges, they charge you a decent amount of money, 2, 3, 4, 5, sometimes 10%. Okay. Sure. But here's the cool part. Imagine sending $10,000 to somebody in Bitcoin and it costing you literally $3, because that's what happens with Bitcoin. That's what happens. Okay. You can't beat this technology. I mean, look, I live in the Philippines, where there's a lot of Filipinos that live abroad. They go outside of the country because the job market here is bad. So what they do is they travel. They go to, places like Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Dubai. They go all over the place. They go to the United States sometimes, Canada, and then they earn money and they have to send it back to their family. The unfortunate side of that, like in some of these provinces, you don't have Western Union or MoneyGram. Some of these people don't even have banks. So now all of a sudden, here's a method where somebody can actually send money back to their family to help them. The same thing applies in the United States, because you have all these people in the United States that are from Mexico, okay? And they come to the United States, they go there to get a better life, to work and help support their family in Mexico. So they're sending money back and forth. I have a friend of mine, by the way, his name's Conde Benavides, and he was actually in the transactional scenario. And when he saw this and he heard about it, he was just like, this is crazy. People can send $10,000 for $4 or $5. I'm like, absolutely they can. Wow. And he was like, we'd be making $200, $300, $400 easy, with a service. And he goes, how can we use this? And I said, simple. You get a Bitcoin wallet. They get a Bitcoin wallet. You buy a Bitcoin. You send them Bitcoin. And then if you send it to a local wallet in Mexico, they can actually transfer it right to their bank. And I showed him how it worked. Even found him a local wallet in Mexico. He was sold. And this is what I'm talking about, guys. This is a game changer. Like, I live in the Philippines. I use a local wallet here on my phone. And whenever somebody sends me money, I can send it right to any one of my banks that I have here. So it's very simple. It ends up right in my account in 24 hours, right in my banking system in 24 hours. Guys.
So revolutionizing the way this is done, because number one, they're a lot lower. Number two, they can be a lot more, right? And it's accessible within 24 hours. That's huge for business.
Yeah, right? I mean, honestly, Yulia, this is, without a doubt, I mean, if you guys look back over time, okay, and you look at the most profitable industries, over time, obviously, you go way, way, way back, you had coal, then you had, precious metals, then all of a sudden, you had stocks and bonds and investments, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, became the .com industry and, the internet, and it revolutionized. I mean, look, the internet has made more people millionaires than any other industry on the face of the planet through the .com explosion. And now all of a sudden it's happening again thanks to the internet with Bitcoin. And so here's the thing, guys. Bitcoin, I mean, people that bought, look at the first transaction, for example, 10,000 Bitcoins for the price of a pizza. Okay, it's about $10 for Papa John's pizza. That netted somebody $2.4 million. $2.4 million in profit, okay? This is what people don't understand. They don't get their mind, quite all the way around this, because they're looking at it as, oh, it's not going to last. We're going to have D-Day. We're not going to have any electricity. We're not going to have any. It's going to wipe out cryptocurrency. Oh, really? I got news for you. You can't wipe it out, because nowadays you actually have a little device that's about this size. It actually kind of looks funny like this, but it plugs into your computer. It's called a Trezor. And you can actually load your Bitcoins right onto that. And, here's the crazy part. You can actually even print like a little sticker, and you can take that in and somebody can scan that. And that actually is also Bitcoin. It's like Bitcoin that you take offline. There's so many ways you guys can do it. I'm just telling you now, it's not going away. It's not going away. The U.S. has made it a commodity in 2015. You've got about 7 or 8 countries, huge countries, that have actually legitimized it and named it as a currency. It's not going away. It's only going to get bigger. The more countries that add as a currency is going to drive the price up higher, because people are going to want to own it. Once a country legitimizes it, and they name it a currency, it becomes real to people. And the
Yes.
problem is right now in the world, a lot of people think, oh, it's not real because they haven't named it a currency. But here's the cool part. Those that actually understand what's happening, it's just going to explode, guys. It's going to explode. So right now is the best time to get involved. Not next week or tomorrow, not a year from now, right now. Because you can actually get in on the bubble before it breaks 2,000, and you could profit 200 or 300 or 400%,
Wow.
So let's talk about how it's used, though, because you asked me a really good question. So
Yes,
here's the deal.
please.
I don't know how many of you like to travel, but I know Yulia likes to travel. I love to travel. Here's the reality. You realize that you could book a ticket on Expedia, your hotel and everything, pay with Bitcoin and get a discount. Did you know that?
Wow, that's phenomenal.
It's the only discount Expedia gives.
Interesting. And
Now,
why would they be interested in doing that?
Because they don't get charged fees and there's no way for chargebacks. They have no risk of loss and they love it. And the same thing applies to Dell Computers. You go to Dell Computers, you want to buy a computer through Dell, they give you 10% discount. It's the only discount they offer. Okay, I can go on and on, guys. 1-800-Flowers. Okay, Expedia, Dell Computers, Microsoft. I mean, look, Microsoft is kind of in a unique position because Bill Gates, obviously tech head, the guy's very smart. He's a genius, but people don't realize he's put $500 million into Bitcoin and Bitcoin technology.
Wow.
Now, the richest man on earth believes in it. That might be a sure sign for you to say, hey, maybe I should take a peek.
Maybe we're onto something,
I mean, look, I think there's 5 out of 10 of the top billionaires in the world all have money invested in Bitcoin. If you look at, not the Cavaliers, if you look at the, I can't even think of the basketball team name now, actually it's going to kill me. The Golden State Warriors, the owner of the Golden State Warriors. Here's what's crazy. He's actually in a documentary, but, he actually has a large portion of his money in Bitcoin.
Wow.
And, he believes we're on the bubble right now, that it's just a matter of time before it hits $5,000, then $10,000. And he says once it hits $10,000, there's guys out like Tim Draper and all these top people in the world that all say it's going to hit 500,000 and then it'll hit $1 million. And I got news for you. If you owned just 5 coins and it hit $1 million, you were 5 million. Why not take that risk?
That's crazy. That's actually phenomenal. So we're right on the cusp of a major breakthrough, right, and a currency breakthrough. And it seems our audience is really on board with this. We have Abedin that says that Japan recently made Bitcoin as a legal tender, right? So the big countries, are investing in it. They're recognizing it. The top, entrepreneurs of the world are investing in it. So clearly there is something. This is something worth looking at and jumping in on as soon as possible before it becomes too scarce. What I really wanted to ask you guys, or maybe ask you rather, is how is Bitcoin really created? But, I do really need to know, because I know that basically there's some computers, right, to create, they do mining to create a Bitcoin. For example, I believe it was in Japan, where they bought out 3,000 computers just to create 25 Bitcoins, right? And that's crazy, right? So why, that goes to show you why it is so hard to create, and that why it becomes so scarce. So maybe you could explain a little bit about how Bitcoin is created, but is it really crucial for us to understand all those math problems to create them in order to profit from them?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's not necessary that you even understand how it works, but in a nutshell, here's a reality. Okay, look, when I first started this, I literally had a computer that was about this wide, about this tall, and about the same thickness, just a little long cube. And literally 99% of the time when it was running, there was no monitor, no keyboard attached. That little thing would just churn 24 hours a day. It was constantly moving. And what it was doing was solving a complex equation. Now, every time that it halves, the equation gets harder and longer, okay? That's just how it works. And so the computer power has had to get, look, to mine coins in 2140, just to help you understand, there's not a computer on the face of the earth that exists that will be able to do it. That's how much computing power that we will need in 2140. As computers progress, we'll be able to do more. We'll need super chips. We'll need things that we don't have, right now. And right now, we're lucky because, our computers that we have, They're working, but they're working overtime because, man, these complex equations are getting longer, they're getting tougher, and every time somebody solves that equation, whichever computer or mine that basically solves it, they get awarded 12.5 Bitcoins. So it's a very small amount, 12.5 Bitcoins. Now, 12.5 Bitcoins over time could be $12.5 million. So that actually can be a huge amount of money, but it's not going to be necessarily right now. Okay, like people have to understand the whole process of mining is to gain more Bitcoins. Okay, and the process of trading is not just to gain more Bitcoins, but it's to gain more profit immediately. So like what I've been doing is I work, one company on the front end that gives me faster profit. I work another company on the back end, which is slower. But here's the reality. That company I know is a lifetime company. I'll hand that company down to my kids. My kids may even hand it down to their kids. That's the beauty of this, okay? We have the right companies, Julia. We have them. And if people want to profit in them, all they got to do is plug in. You don't even have to work hard, okay? You could make money passively even if you suck at recruiting and you can't sponsor a single soul. Now, that is a big claim. But here's what I'm going to tell you. One of these companies is 3 years old. Not a single person that's joined ever lost a penny.
Wow.
That's a huge claim. I've never met a network marketing company that can make that claim, but this company can, and I've seen it firsthand because I've been in since before it actually launched.
So you're saying you don't need to have any recruiting skills because, a lot of people, they struggle with that. In order to profit from this, you could literally make passive Bitcoin just by making an investment, which leads really nicely into our next question in terms of how do we exactly profit from Bitcoin. And it seems like there's two options here. You can actively recruit, but if that's not your go-to, then you could actually invest and let the money work for you. In fact, I've heard it's better to keep your money in Bitcoin rather in your savings, right? And it's something that you can take out at any point as well. I mean, obviously you want it to sit there, but that leads really nicely into the question in terms of how we can profit. So you're talking about two options here, either through recruiting or just through investing.
Actually, there's three ways to profit with Bitcoin. Okay, so let me help you guys understand. The first way is to buy it and just hang on to it. Buy it and sit tight. Don't do anything. It's going to go up in value. You're going to make money, period. Bar none, that's going to happen. The second way is through the process of mining. You could actually join a mining pool, acquire more Bitcoins. Over time, those Bitcoins are going to go up in value, and that's going to create a profit for you. The third way, which is the fastest way, is actually through cryptocurrency trading. That's the process I was talking about earlier. When the price of Bitcoin goes high, the altcoins almost always drop. Then you buy those altcoins, and when altcoins go back up, you buy the Bitcoin because it drops. It's kind of like working a figure eight. You're just going through a process, but you have to know the right coins. And that's why you trust in a trader or you trust in a company to do that for you, because they have the experience. They have the track record. The company we're talking about right now, I've seen literally almost 2 years worth of trade logs at a profit every single month. That's huge. When you see the back office actually, and you see, they made $500 and some on my investment, and I got paid $39.50. It makes you scratch your head and say, maybe I need to go learn a little more about trading. And you do, because here's the thing. I don't just put my money in a company and let them do it. I do that. And I don't just put it in mine and let that work. I do that too. But I also do a little trading on my own. So the guys, these are the things, if you actually learn and you join our group, here's what I'm going to tell you. We give out tips all the time. I'll tell you what to go buy. I even tell you where to buy it from. And if you need help, I show you how to buy it. There's no excuse for not making money in cryptocurrency. I'm just going to tell you that now. You have to be absolutely living under a rock, or you need to pull your head out of the dark spot in the backside of your body, guys. That's the reality. Okay, it's too simple to make money with cryptocurrency. It really, truly is, but it's up to you. You got to take action, and if you do that, you will profit, period.
So it sounds like, there's three ways that you can make money with Bitcoin, right? And what I really like about the trading part is because that sounds like it's the fastest way to get into profit without actually being an expert into trading. And we have access to those resources. In fact, just last night, I was like, Ari, I want to buy some Bitcoin real fast. Let me know, where do I go? And you just gave me those options. So I really believe that whenever you're doing any type of business, you want to link up with the right mentorship and with the experts. If you're not an expert yourself, look for those people who have what you want and have been where you've been and are you've just been in this industry for such a long time. And I know that, in fact, you even bought a condo, right? Not too long ago with just Bitcoin.
Yep.
So that just goes to show that we really have access to a wealth of knowledge that translate into real life experience. So that's really phenomenal. And I was wondering, how is it possible for someone to become an investor of Bitcoin? What do they do? What are some of the action steps they can take today?
Yeah, I mean, look, here's the reality. If you guys actually want to become an investor in Bitcoin, there's a variety of different ways to do it. Now, if you're in the United States and maybe even Canada, you might check, but Gemini.com is actually owned by the Winklevoss twins. And I just sent a guy there. You got to go through a series of verifications. It's FDIC insured. It's legit. It's 100%. They lock your price. When your bank wire arrives, they release your Bitcoins to you and you're on your way. You can also check out coinatmradar.com, which will actually show you any ATMs that are near you. You can walk up, insert cash, get out Bitcoin instantly. Okay. The other website I like is www.cex.io. Also a great company. We have all this information, guys, too, so I know you're not going to remember it all, but we keep all of this stuff inside the group, and we show you, constantly when there's new locations that pop up, because, what's right in the United States is not going to be right in Asia or the Philippines or Japan. Every country has its own exchange, and that's the thing you have to understand is you've got to be willing to do a little search. But once you figure it out for your country on how to buy it, then you're in a good situation. Now, if you're going to be buying it and then you're going to take and invest it and do some trading, well, then you're going to need to join a legitimate exchange like Gemini.com, like Polynex.com, like Livecoin.net, like Bittrex.com. I mean, there's a lot of them out there. And once you put your money in, like I use Bittrex, Livecoin, I've used Polynex in the past, but I don't use it currently. Just their price of their Bitcoin there is a little higher. So I don't necessarily always like that. I like to get in, find the best prices and work within the system. And so far I've had really good luck with Livecoin.net and Bittrex.com. And, I have a pretty good portfolio. I mean, I've got some coins up to 235,000 coins, and some of them, I've got other coins of 4,000 or 5,000. It just depends on what it is. But, guys, I take a little risk on it. Now, if you want a safe bet, what I would tell you to do is get back with you, Leah, because we've got an awesome opportunity in the company. Literally, it's plug and play. You put your money in, you get paid like clockwork, and it doesn't deviate. Now, let me tell you, the guy that got me involved in the company, very good friend of mine, known him for a few years now. He reached out to me literally 6 months ago when the company first launched, and he told me about it. And I said, I got involved with something else with you before. It went down on us. I need you to go get me actual proof. And luckily, he actually made the trip over to corporate headquarters and got everything and showed it to me. I've just put together a review video, so that'll be out soon on this. And you'll be able to see all the proof that I've got, and you get to see it firsthand, guys. But here's the thing I'm going to tell you. This company, in 6 months, he's made less than 6 months. He's already made over $1 million.
Wow.
Cash in hand, in his pocket already. That's phenomenal. I've never seen anything pay like this. And it's legitimate. I mean, they own a Bitcoin ATM network. Scams don't do that. Scams don't grow roots and build out networks of things like that because they have to maintain them. And that takes time and that takes money. Companies that have long-term vision, they want to remain and they want to stick around, they grow roots, guys. They put their feet down and they start buying things that show you that they're going to be here. And that's what I love about this company, because they're doing all the right things right, guys. I mean, they've dotted every I, crossed every T to perfection so far.
So they have control and access to all the resources that are responsible for creating and trading these types of Bitcoin. So that's really who you want to be linked up with people that are at the source. You know what I mean? And it sounds like that's why it's better. Like, maybe you can tell people, like, why would it be better to keep your money into Bitcoin versus into a bank? Because or a lot of people put their money into their savings, and they hope for that to grow a little bit. Why do you believe that in the next couple of years it's going to be up to 2, 3, 4, 10,000, 50,000 for one Bitcoin? And why is it important to get started today versus waiting?
Well, I mean, here's the reality, guys. It's just a law of supply and demand. I mean, anytime you look at supply and demand, you can see what's happening. I mean, the supply is just not going to get any greater. It's not going to rapidly increase. It just can't. Physically, it cannot do that. So here's the beauty of it. That low supply availability basically is going to drive that price up. So in the next 2 years, I imagine it's going to be between $5,000 and $8,000 personally. That's just me. You know, I've had guys tell me it'll be $10,000 to $15,000 bucks, but just me, I'm conservative. You know, that's the way I look at it. But look, if you bought it today at $1,700, okay, and 3 years from now it was worth $5,000 to $7,000, would you be happy? Of course you'd be happy, because you just made $3,000 or $4,000 a coin. Now, what if I could show you a way to actually get in and multiply your coins? Meaning, you get in and I show you a way where you can earn and keep buying and buying and buying coins. And now instead of having 4 or 5, you got 50 or 100. And now all of a sudden you make, you know, $3,000 or $4,000 on 100. Now you're seeing the picture, because you're making $300,000 or $400,000 in a swing. And that, to me, friends, that's an opportunity for retirement. Yeah, that's an opportunity for retirement.
Because I mean, it used to be only 5 cents.
Yeah, it was super cheap when it first began, guys. I mean, look here, I'll give you a perfect example. I bought my condo in the fall. I paid a little over $300,000, and I did a bunch of renovations for about $45,000. So I've ended about $350,000, and I cashed out Bitcoin to pay for it, 100%. But if I had waited till spring, I would have cost me about $80,000 out of my pocket, because the price had increased that much. It would only have been about an $80,000 investment for a $350,000 condo. That's how rapid it is. That's why you want to buy it and hang on to it. I had cash, but I was a dummy. I cashed into Bitcoin. Lesson learned. I will never do it again. I'm just telling you now. Every Bitcoin I get right now, I've had people say, hey, will you sell me some Bitcoin? No, my Bitcoin's not for sale. However, if you want to send me money by Western Union, I'll go deposit it in the Coins PH account. I'll buy you fresh Bitcoin and send it right to you. But you can't have mine. And people laugh at me for it. They don't understand. But I am very possessive over it right now, because I feel like I just lost all this money, and really I did. I lost $300,000 in the swing, guys. Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to teach you. Don't be an Ari, be the Ari today, not the Ari 6 months ago, because you would actually save yourself the heartache of losing $300K. It's very simple. This industry is going to happen. I hate to say it, with or without you, like it or not. It's just going to happen. So you can either sit on the sidelines and watch it pass you by, or you can jump in with both feet and you can get paid. Very simple.
And I wanted to ask you, because some people, I had some comments the other day, because I made a status, like I got everyone excited about you coming on board here. You know, what is the difference between Bitcoin, and I know there's a few other type of coins out there. How does it compare, and how do we know, how can we pick something that's legit? How do we know it's legit? Because I know there's a lot of rising coins, and I believe that they started to do that because they saw what happened with Bitcoin. Maybe you can give people just some advice on where to invest their money appropriately.
Well, here, I'm going to tell you this, guys. Look, anytime you're wanting to invest some money into cryptocurrency, go to coinmarketcap.com and look at the top 10 cryptocurrencies. Okay, right now, cryptocurrency holds $25 billion of the world's money, okay? 20 billion of that is in Bitcoin. 5 billion is in all the other altcoins spread out. Ripple, number 2 right now. Ethereum, number 3 right now. And then it just goes down. And here's what I'm going to tell you. If you're investing in any of those top 10 cryptocurrencies, you're pretty much safe. Now, if you want to invest in something that's not quite in that top 10 yet, that's when you need somebody like us to actually help you a little bit and point you in the right direction and teach you how to research it, so you actually know exactly what's good. Like, for instance, I do know there's a coin out right now. It's only on livecoin.net. It's called First Coin. One word, First Coin. And it's a brand new network marketing company that launched. Here's the cool part about it. They only accept, you have to buy First Coin, and you have to buy into their system using First Coin in order to actually become a member. Why is that important? Because as their members grow, the price of that coin is going to go up. So even if you choose not to join that MLM or that network marketing company, to own that coin is almost guaranteed profit. When I bought it, it was about 65 cents. It's already doubled. Okay? Wow. It's already doubled. So here's the thing. As you start to become aware of industry news, it makes your job easier to profit. It really does. You know, I mean, look, if you go to Google, you type in Bitcoin news, you're going to see dozens of websites pop up with information. Dozens. And you know what I did? I plugged in and I read. And that's the best thing I can tell you to do. Start reading, start doing research, start networking with other people inside the cryptocurrency space. And when you do, people will start dropping tips on you, and you start dropping tips back. And you know what happens is you start to build a little bit of a relationship, and people actually help you. You know, they help you profit. So it's a really good market space.
I see we have a question from one of the audience here. Everything is asking, how about the other altcoins? Is it kind of worth looking into?
Yeah, of course. That's what I was talking about on CoinMarketCap. So, I mean, look, when you go to coinmarketcap.com, Bitcoin is the primary. Everything else is altcoin. Now, as you start to look into the altcoins, you want to obviously do some research, but you're safe right now with Dash, Litecoin, Monero. You're safe with all of those coins, Ethereum Classic, Ripple. Those are safe coins. But, like I was just saying, the price of Ripple is not even the price of First Coin, and nobody's heard about it.
Right.
Okay? That's the brilliance. See, First Coin has this huge coin market cap space right now because they're in the number 2 position. But here's a coin that's outperforming it that nobody knows about. So the only way to find out that information is either to get to know someone that is on the inside that sees information and studies the market, or to educate yourself, and market yourself.
And that's the value of being in a network of this. It's like every time, when I want to invest in something or be a part of the business, I always want to make sure I'm plugged into the right network that, has the expertise and has been studying it longer. So that's kind of the value of plugging in here with us, is because, me and Ari, we've been involved in this, especially Ari, a long time. And, Ari knows the trends of where this is going, right? And typically, I'm just wondering, with Bitcoin, some people ask, well, how long does it take for me to actually see a profit? And I mean, that's pretty self-evident if you look in the last month, what's happened, right? But in terms of if they were to invest right now, how long do you think it'll take people to start seeing some results?
24 to 48 hours if they're smart, I mean, that fast, guys. Look, depending on what you're doing with your money, if you're buying crypto and trying to trade it on your own, it could be a little longer because you might lose a whole lot of money. But if you're investing into, say, crypt trade, you're going to start seeing a profit within 24 to 48 hours. Flip side of the coin, if you invest into a mine, it's going to take you a little longer. It's going to take you about a week to 2 weeks. Now, here's the thing, guys. If you're just buying and holding Bitcoin, you could see profit or you could see loss. That's really, up to the price of, Bitcoin, whatever happens in the marketplace. But, here's the thing. When Bitcoin was around $1,200 and some, there was news of Japan basically making it a currency. And I said, within the month, it's going to go up. It's going to hit 2,000. I literally felt like the Swami on Friday afternoon. But guess what happened on Saturday? Saturday, I felt like somebody unraveled me and threw away all my Swami outfit because it dropped. And right now, it's dropped down again. But here's the cool part, guys. I don't believe that's going to stay stable like that. I believe that the market was going to keep buying. I believe that people are manipulating a little bit in order to get the price down so they can make a big push and buy. Now, keep in mind, right now in China, the 2 biggest exchanges, they're not doing any withdrawals right now. Once that's released and they start opening up that market, China will be pushing again as well. Now you have Japan, you have China, the 2 biggest countries in Asia pushing Bitcoin. And I got news for you. They're bigger than the U.S. when it comes to crypto, way bigger. So It's going to push this to the moon and beyond, okay? Somebody just asked a question real quick about ICOs. Okay, so let's talk about ICOs. Yeah, I know all about them. So there's a coin out. People called it an ICO. It was for ads cash. That's not an ICO. That's a scam. I'm going to be very clear with that, and I'm not going to pull or hold any punches, okay? That's a crap-ass thing. I'm just telling you, I'm so mad about it. You want to know what a real ICO looks like, you go to Tezos, Tezos.com, and you check that out. Now, Tim Draper, been one of the biggest backers of Bitcoin since Bitcoin began. This is the 2nd coin he's ever backed, okay? This is going to be the Facebook IPO of Bitcoins. I'm just telling you right now, or of cryptocurrency. This is going to be a major deal. I'm actually trying to get $5,000, $10,000 extra in Bitcoin just to go big and buy into that, because I believe that little coin, when it takes off, is going to make hundreds of thousands of dollars. So that is an ICO that I participate in. But usually until it's registered, I'm pretty gun shy, guys. But here's the deal. When you got a guy like Tim Draper backing it, putting millions of dollars in it, I don't believe it can fail. When you have a no-name guy bringing forth the coin that nobody in the crypto space knows, that's a recipe for failure. It just doesn't work, okay? That's why you have to learn the marketplace and learn to identify these things. You know, I'm telling you now, you can save yourself a lot of trouble and a lot of cash and a lot of heartache and pain, guys. And you can save face with people by not putting them into a scam.
Exactly. You don't want to ruin your own reputation, right?
That's right.
So when you see big players get involved, right, and you see multimillionaires, big countries that are opening up this as local currency, that's when you know it holds weight in terms of legitimacy. And it sounds like that's what you look for in order to qualify for your investment, right? So that's phenomenal knowledge. Like I'm really excited about this. And I really like that you answered the question in terms of how fast someone can make profit. And it sounds like trading is the best way that you can be up to the latest trends on the market so that you can buy and sell at the right times and make profit right away, as opposed to just sitting on it. So if somebody wants to profit from Bitcoin as soon as possible, it seems that trading is the best way to do that. Is that what I'm understanding here?
Absolutely. Trading is going to make you the fastest amount of money. In fact, you know, I tell everybody strategy-wise, if you're going to put some money into something, put it into Crypt Trade, let them generate a profit for you. Take your profits, go put it into BitClub and start turning 2 income streams. Very stable. They're not going to go away. I mean, the fact that, you know, Crypt Trade just bought a Bitcoin mining operation and they're about to launch that as well. Now, all of a sudden, they got Bitcoin ATMs, they got Bitcoin mining. Plus, you got 3-year-old, very secure. All the mine is owned by themselves. That's BitClub Network. You have 2 of the most stable programs that I've seen in this. Guys, I'm just telling you, there's a wealth of information out there. You know, like you got companies out there that are dropping hundreds of millions of dollars into Bitcoin and the technology around it. Right now is the time to do it. You guys want to go over to CoinDesk and look up Bitcoin Venture Capital. And when you do that, I'm just going to tell you, you can just Google Bitcoin Venture Capital and you'll see it'll be like the number 1 or 2 links. But $1.5 billion have been invested into Bitcoin and Bitcoin technology. If you're not in, you're losing. Just happens. Yeah, it's huge.
That's crazy. So it sounds like, you know, you really want to get involved with people that actually own the technology, right? You know, not just that like borrow it or lease it, right? You want to be involved with organizations that actually buy the equipment, that are, you know, that are part of the mining process, right? That you have more control over that. And you can bet that you're a lot safer going that route. And that's why I'm so honored to link up with you, because I know that you've studied these companies and you know which ones are legit, which ones are not, who are the big players behind it. It sounds like Crypt Trade is the way to go if you want to start making some profit real fast. So I guess the last question is, how do you get started? You know, how do you get started with Bitcoin and trading?
That's the best part, guys. Check it out. Underneath this video, actually, we put a link to the Crypt Trade Capital Kingdom group. There's also a Crypto Kingdom group. I would encourage you to join both of them. And right underneath that, I actually commented and gave you guys Yulia's link. So here's the thing. Check out that actual link and join Yulia in Crypt Trade Capital. Let her help you get started, show you how to get Bitcoin. And, you know, obviously, I'm always here to help. If you guys want to do little mini meetings and blow this up, I'm here to help you do it. You want to do live hangouts like this, just like I did with Yulia, I'm here to help you guys do it. I want to see you win. I want to see you succeed. But, guys, I want to see you succeed in something real and ethical, something that you can wake up in the morning and look at your kids and still be happy that you're doing what you're doing and not feel like you need to be embarrassed that you're doing this in front of your children. I don't want you to feel sleazy. I want you to do something that's wonderful, you know? So I got to run, Yulia, but check it out. I really appreciate you bringing me on here. And, you know, you're always a sparkling face. I love to see you, and I love to, you know, help you guys in any way. I know you're going to knock this out. It's a new market space for you, but here's the thing. Once you actually learn this, you're going to be just as passionate as I am about it. I know it. It's changed my life, guys. So do me a favor, get signed up, join the group, and let us help you change yours.
Absolutely. And I just want to say thank you so much, you know, for taking the time out of your day, your busy day, you know, and it's such an honor and a privilege for you to come here and educate us. And that's really, you know, what we have access to is, you know, leaders like Ari that care and actually want to help and want to make sure that we build this in a way that we can be proud of it for the sake of our future and the generations of our family. So, you know, I'm just really honored, and I'm really grateful that you took the time to come out here today. So last remarks, click the comment down below, get started today. Me and Ari are here for you to help you get educated, make the right decision, and literally set you up for your entire future, not just for yourself, but for generations ahead. So thank you so much for tuning in.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Take care for now.